What if one of Vietnam's most meaningful journeys begins not at a famous landmark, but in a quiet village where every pattern woven into cloth, every jar of traditional wine, and every community gathering carries the memory of generations? After nearly an hour on the road, we arrived at Bon Pi Nao, a peaceful Mnong village in Vietnam's Central Highlands. At first glance, it may seem like a simple rural community surrounded by open land and gentle scenery. But stay with us, because behind this peaceful landscape is a remarkable story, a community working together to protect its cultural identity while opening a new door to the future. Welcome to Bon Pi Nao. Today, Bon Pi Nao is part of Nong commune in Lam Dong province. In earlier administrative records, including the community tourism project featured in this video, it was located in Nan Dao commune, Dak Arlap district, Dak Nong province. The moment we entered the village, everything seemed to slow down. There was no noise from busy streets, no crowds rushing from one attraction to another. Only open space, quiet roads, simple homes, and the peaceful rhythm of daily life. In the Mnong language, the word Bon means village, while Pi Nao means a large grassland. The name perfectly reflects the spacious landscape surrounding the community. At the heart of the village is a communal house, a shared place where local people can gather, meet, and take part in important community activities. It is more than just a building. It represents the strong connection between the families who have lived here for generations. Bon Pi Nao is home to more than 120 households and over 500 residents. Around 95% of the population are Mnong people, one of the indigenous ethnic communities of Vietnam's Central Highlands. What makes Bon Pi Nao special is not a single monument or spectacular viewpoint. Its true value lies in something more personal, the everyday culture that the villagers are still preserving. Here, tradition can be found in the hands of local weavers, in the preparation of traditional jar wine, and in the way people come together during festivals and community events. For many years, these traditions were mainly part of local family and village life. But gradually, the community began to see that its natural surroundings and cultural heritage could also create new opportunities. Under Vietnam's Rural Tourism Development Program for the 2021 to 2025 period, Bon Pi Nao was selected as a pilot model for community-based tourism. At the time of its selection, Dak Nong was the only province in the Central Highlands and one of only 12 provinces across Vietnam chosen to take part in this national pilot program. This was an important step for the village. The goal was not simply to bring more tourists here. The wider vision was to connect tourism with local agriculture, traditional crafts, community products, accommodation, environmental protection, and the preservation of the rural landscape. In other words, tourism was expected to support the community, not replace it. And perhaps the best example of that vision can be seen in the village's traditional weaving. Under the guidance of Hyon, a local community leader, village members have continued learning and practicing the art of Mnong brocade weaving. At the loom, colorful threads slowly become carefully patterned textiles. Each finished product requires patience, experience, and a deep understanding of designs passed down through generations. These are not simply decorative objects. The colors and patterns are part of the cultural identity of the Mnong people. Local cooperative initiatives have brought village members together to produce and introduce these traditional products to a wider market. As more people learned about their work, the weavers began receiving orders from customers beyond the village. For the women involved, weaving offers more than an additional source of income. It gives them another reason to continue practicing their traditional craft, share their skills, and keep this knowledge alive for younger generations. But weaving is only one part of the story. Another tradition closely connected with life in Bon Pi Nao is Ruo Khan, a fermented wine traditionally kept in large jars and shared during festivals and community gatherings. In recent years, Hyon noticed that the village was organizing more cultural events, but there was not always enough locally made Ruo can to meet demand. So her family began investing more seriously in its production. Using their own traditional method, They developed a distinctive flavor that soon attracted the attention of customers. Orders began to increase, and the product was later supported through testing and market development by the Provincial Cooperative Alliance. A jar of ruo may appear to be just a local product, but here it represents something much larger: hospitality, celebration, community, and the possibility of creating a sustainable livelihood from traditional knowledge. Still, developing community tourism brings an important challenge. How can a village welcome visitors without losing the very traditions that make it worth visiting? For Bon Pi Nao, part of the answer has been education and community participation. In September 2023, a training program was organized for more than 50 participants, including village representatives, businesses, cooperative groups, local producers, and households interested in taking part in tourism. The training covered community leadership, tourism planning, environmental protection, and the practical skills needed to build a sustainable tourism model. Just as importantly, it encouraged local people to recognize the value of their own cultural heritage. Because successful community tourism is not only about attracting visitors, it is also about ensuring that local people remain at the center of every decision, that the natural environment is respected, and that cultural traditions are not reduced to performances created only for tourists. Bon Pi Nao is still on its journey toward becoming a fully developed community tourism destination. There may not yet be large resorts, polished attractions, or crowds of international travelers here, but perhaps that is exactly why this village feels so meaningful. This is a place where visitors may have the opportunity to slow down, meet local people, observe traditional weaving, learn about ruo can, and better understand the culture of the Mnong community. The experience is not about checking another famous destination off a list. It is about discovering how a community protects its identity while adapting to a changing world. And as we leave Bon Pi Nao, one thought stays with us. Sometimes the places that make the deepest impression are not the ones with the biggest attractions, but the ones that allow us to see everyday life from a completely different perspective. Bon Pi Nao may still be unfamiliar to many travelers, yet with its peaceful landscape, living traditions, and strong sense of community, it has the potential to become one of the Central Highlands' most meaningful cultural destinations. Would you like to spend a day here and experience the culture of the Mnong people? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoy discovering the lesser-known places, cultures, and communities of Vietnam, please give this video a like, subscribe to Vietnam's Untold Destinations, and join us on our next journey. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next destination.